All right, all right. So I'm back with another live today with Frank Gallego of 4 Ounce Fight Club. And kind of learned some about his background and about the gym in Houston, some other things here. How you guys doing? Frank has sent you an invite. I sent it to you again. I think it's because your green status wasn't on. How you doing, Steve? Okay, I accept your request to join, Frank. All right. Might want to turn your camera around.
Oh, hey.
How you doing, man?
Hey, pretty good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Now, maybe for people that are watching this, you could introduce yourself for people who may not be familiar with you.
Okay, yeah, my name's Frank Gallego. I'm one of the coaches here at 4 Ounce Fight Club in Houston, Texas. And yeah, that's about it.
Maybe give some background on the gym and kind of.
Yeah, so the gym's been around for forever. I mean, it's one of Houston's longest standing gyms. I've only been a part of it for maybe we're going on 9 years, so about 8.5 years maybe. But the gym's been doing great. Um, I mean, it's probably been around twice as long as that, I think, and it's been doing great since then. For some reason, all these, great fighters always gravitate over to 4 Ounce, and I just got lucky to be a part of it too. I've always lived nearby, and finally decided to join in, and here I am, 8.5 years later, still there. Only MMA gym I've ever been to.
Now, was Makako the one who founded it, or was he just kind of part of it at one time?
He was part of it. The founder was actually another Houston coach, is Jeremy Mahon. He's the one over at War Training Center. He's the one that started it all. I don't know what year it was, but it was a long time ago.
And maybe talk about some of the fighters that you have there currently.
Oh man, if I start talking about these fighters at 4 I'll be here all day. There's just it's an unlimited feed of fighters here. You got great amateurs that maybe have one fight in all the way up to the highest level. Um, I'll talk about our coaches here. Our other coaches that I work alongside with are Daniel Pineda. He's our MMA Jiu-Jitsu coach. Then we have Martinez Young, Chico Young. He's our striking coach. And Joseph McCamish, a good Jiu-Jitsu coach. And we also got Joe Trevino, another Jiu-Jitsu coach that we have. Um, just there, that's enough to talk about all day. But the fighters, I mean, we have all weight classes, all levels, from guys that are just doing a little bit of sparring all the way up to the highest level, like I said. So yeah,
And
it's a
Daniel's
great.
currently competing
It's,
in the UFC, right?
what's that?
Daniel's currently competing in the UFC, for example.
Yes. He's competing in the UFC. Hopefully, he has a fight here coming soon before the end of the year. But yeah, he's our captain, and he is in the UFC right now.
Now, maybe talk about when you first joined, like 9 years ago. How did that come about?
Um, I've known about the gym forever, but I've always been, uh, like a lot of most guys, I was more of a boxer, more of a boxing. That's all I grew up with. Um, so I've always kind of been around the gym, and I just never really wanted to join. Like I said, a lot of boxers are like, hell no, I ain't going to no damn MMA gym. I don't want to be all over somebody. Jujitsu, what they don't know. I didn't know either. I didn't know how good jujitsu can be. Definitely good to know. But I was around it forever. Actually, one of my friends from elementary, his dad was the owner at that time. or owner or part owner. I'm not sure, but I went to school with all the kids that went there, and I was just the only one that was holding back. I was like, no, I'm not going. I like boxing. I'm not doing wrestling and jiu-jitsu and shit. Um, so finally, one of my really good friends, Rafael Aguirre, we call him Tortuga. He joined to lose some weight. He was trying to get in shape, so he joined to do the cardio kickboxing classes. And he was like, "Man, come on, just come with me." And I already knew I knew half the people that went to that gym already, so I was like, "Fuck it, let's go." So I showed up with him to kind of support him to do the kicking stuff, which what I called it, because I didn't like kicking. Like I said, all I wanted to do was just punch. So I joined him, and that was it. I never. He stayed in there for like another 3 4 months, and he took off, and I stayed there, and I'm still there now. That was like 2014, maybe, I think.
So the guy who brought you is not there, but you're there.
Yeah, he was only there for about 3 months with me.
Yeah.
8.5 years later, I'm still there.
That happens a lot, though, with guys that are, been around it for a long time. Usually the person that got them into it is not around anymore.
Yeah, I hear it all the time. I hear it all the time, especially with some of the female fighters. They went in to maybe lose a little bit of weight. They went with a friend, and their friend took off a week later, and now they are top 10 in the UFC or something. So yeah.
Now, obviously, you weren't coaching there right away. How did that kind of uh, come to pass where you become a coach there?
Um, I had been there. A lot of people come and go. You know, obviously the good ones stay. Uh, like I say now, only the strong survive. OT it says, you show up. A lot of people show up, but only the strong are gonna stay there. Um, so I started covering after I've been there a while. I'm not sure, maybe a year. I was just doing the boxing class and the cardio kickboxing class. Those are the only two classes I would do. After about a year there, um, I just started kind of fitting in a little bit. Some of the coaches, they had a lot going on. We have a lot of fighters. We've always had a lot of fighters. So I tell them, hey, don't stress. Go take care of what you guys take care of. I'll cover for you. Don't worry about it. So I just started covering, and covering classes turned out to be permanent. And then just kind of transitioned over from the cardio kickboxing coach to like a little assistant boxing coach to the boxing coach to just kind of all over the place now. And like I said, within time, I mean, we're talking about almost a decade, so I've done it all pretty much at this time.
Now, maybe let's talk about, like Daniel Pineda. You said he's fighting in the UFC. Was he there before you, or did he come in after
Oh
you?
yeah, he was there way before me. Most of these guys were, man. Uh, like I said, Chico, Joseph, the other coaches that I work with. I would be like the baby of the coaching family, I guess. And you're talking about, like I said, almost 9 years. I'm the I'd be the rookie still, I guess. All these other guys are OGs, man. Chico, Daniel, Joseph, Joe, um, who am I missing? Joseph, Joe. Yeah, those guys. All them guys have been here way longer than me, and so just imagine that.
Now, what's the scene like in Houston as far as fight events go?
Oh, we're busy every weekend. In Houston, obviously you probably heard about the big one is Fury. They throw shows every weekend or every other weekend. They got a lot of talent here in Houston. So um, as far as the scene here, I mean, if you're in town visiting on the weekend, most likely you'll be able to catch some fights. That's for sure.
But like Fury is, basically almost like UFC to where they're holding events all the time.
Oh yeah, here in Houston, you got other promotions in the very north part of Texas or so, and Louisiana. But if you're in the Houston area, definitely it's Fury. Oh, I dropped you. They're the ones that are doing it here, man. In town, they're the ones that are doing it.
Now, where they usually hold their events?
They have a few spots. I think they have about three spots. They're all around the same area. There's one right in Houston. There's one right just up north, and another one up north from there. So they have about three different spots. I don't know the names of all of them. I think one of them is like the Escapade. The other one is Bayou Event Center, I think. And then there's another one in Humble. I don't know the names. I should because I go to most all of them, but I don't know. I just know how to get there, and I know who's fighting.
Now, how large are the crowds at these events?
Packed. There. I don't. At these. To be honest, at mostly all the events that I go to, because I go to other promotions also, with some of our forearms fighters. But if we're talking just the Fury crowd here in Houston, I mean, they're always packed. I mean,
So they
they're
would be
out
big,
there.
so to speak.
What's that?
They would be the biggest, so to speak.
In the area
Yeah.
in Texas? Oh, definitely in Texas. Yeah, you definitely can't talk about Texas MMA without Fury fighting. That's for sure.
Now, is it mix of amateur and pro fights?
Yeah, I mean they're so big. They'll mix a card with a few amateurs and some pros. Then they have some cards that are all Ami, and then they got some that are well mixed. Yeah, so definitely from all levels. Definitely, yeah.
Now, let's talk a little bit about Dania because I've had her on my show a couple of times. Like, maybe when did she come in?
What's that?
When did she come into the gym? Do you remember?
She was barely 18. She may have been, she may have been 17 maybe, but she came in. I don't know how she ended up there. I guess she was just trying out new gyms. She lived really far. She started Ubering to the gym. I don't know if she's said that to you before, not an interview or not, but or if she wanted to even be told. She's real humble. She doesn't like no pity. She doesn't want no handouts or anything. She just wants to work for all her shit. But so she started Ubering to the gym. She didn't have a car at the time. She was barely 18. Like I said, she may have been 18 for a day. And she came over from another MMA gym, and she trained with us maybe a week, and she saw how we are, and she loved it. She never went back. She would take a few days off here and there just because, like I said, she had to Uber. But so what is she? She just turned 22 a few months ago, so I guess 4 years now. So she came in about 4 years ago. Been working with her ever since. Uh, I think being at Forearms really motivated her a little more. I don't think they were. I think they overlooked her a lot because of female MMA plus being so small. Everybody just wants to be all about UFC this, and they're like, oh, there's no 105 division UFC. Well, they overlook good people like Danya, so they're stupid. And so we didn't do that. We saw her. We saw she had heart, and we decided to help her out. We told her, like, come as much as you can. We know you live far, but we'll help you out as much as possible. Me and our other coaches, we just kind of try to keep her motivated and just come into the gym. So finally, she got her everything together. Like I said, 18. I mean, who has it together, anyways? But she got everything together. She moved closer to the gym, and she's been with us ever since. So Dinah's like, we talk a little bit. She's like my little sister, my little stepchild or something. But yeah. So I know she's been on your show a few times. She's a great girl, man. She's like that saying, like, she'll give you the shirt off her back. That's who she is. She's a great person and a good fighter, great fighter. So that's how it all is there.
But she's had I don't know how many amateur fights now, but she's been busy. What do you think she's improved on?
I think she's improved in her mental game because she's always been a great fighter. If you A lot of her fights in the beginning, if you saw her in the gym or if you saw her sparring against anybody, you it wasn't the same person I was watching in the fight. And so I knew she was a beast. I just didn't know what was going on. Why is it not showing in the cage? And I think it was just a lot of maybe she needed more belief in herself. I'm not sure, but I just made sure to beat it on her that you are great, you are a good fighter. She's wanted to quit a few times, and I told her, no, you can't do that to yourself. You haven't even showed who you really are or showed your real fighting style. Because, like I said, I've seen her in the gym, and she's a freaking little tornado. And but I would see it in her eyes when she'd go into a fight. It was just she was not scared, but just a little too worried or what could happen. I'm not really sure, but to answer your question, what she's most improved in, I think, is more like self belief. I think that's what it is. Her confidence is getting better, And I think keeping her active like we have been, back to back fights. I think that's also been something to keep to get her comfortable. Me and one of our other coaches, Chico, we talked about it. And she had fights like 9 months in between, and we decided that was too long in between fights. So as soon as she'd get comfortable in the cage, she'd wait freaking almost another year to get back in there. And it's like now you got to start all over. So we decided to keep her busy, and I think that's gonna be the thing for her. But yeah, self belief and just confidence. Her confidence has gone up. She's starting to believe now that she can beat all these girls up. So once she believes that fully, she's gonna do great things in that 105 division for sure.
Yeah, I think not everyone. It does. Some people it's very quick. Other people they need a lot of fights before it kind of starts clicking. You know, the reaction and the belief, like you said, experience, knowing what to do, when to do it. You know, it differs from everybody.
Yeah, definitely. You'll feel more comfortable. That's what I believe fully is if you if you drive a car once a year, you're gonna be scared of shit every time you drive it. But if you drive that thing, if you're a freaking Uber driver and you're driving all day long, that's why you get too confident. That's why you go and wreck because you're on your damn phone and eating and doing your eyelashes while you're driving. But yeah, so that's what I believe in.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. You know, I never thought of it that way. You know, when you're thinking about driving, but it is true. You know, the more you
The more
drive,
the more you drive, the better you get to the point where you can be too confident, like I said, and that's why we get a lot of these accidents. But that's how I see it, man. The more you do something, the more comfortable we're gonna be doing it. The more times Daniel gets in that cage, the more it's gonna feel like the sparring ring in the gym, you know. And that's what I believe.
but as a coach, do you think you kind of have to feel each fighter out? Some of them may need to be more busy. Some of them may not need as many fights.
100%. There's other guys that are. I have to. Me and our other coaches have to tell them we're sitting you out for 2 months. We don't want you to do shit for a couple weeks. So yeah, that's the tough part about being a coach is knowing each fighter. Not everybody's the same. Not a single person, especially in this game, because everybody's different and a little crazy. Because you're not fighting unless you're a little crazy. That's for sure. So you have to take everybody on a different way. So yeah, some people could be the complete opposite of Daniel. They might be only good to fight maybe twice a year or something. But yeah, so you have to know these guys. You have to know them, and that's why I like our team uh, of coaches at the gym at Foreign Fight Club. We all know our guys pretty good, so everybody knows how to attack each situation with them. And some guys, one coach could have a little bit of better connection with one of the fighters, then we all talk and we're like, hey, you go talk to them. You're the one that can get into them better. So just shit like that, man. All that matters. Definitely every fighter's its own fighter.
Now, as a coach, I know you were talking about UFC earlier, but do you have a desire to put some of your fighters, like maybe into, you know, other events or even other countries, perhaps?
Wherever they want to go, like I tell them, I'm not one of those coaches that are walk around saying UFC every 5 minutes.
Right,
Uh,
right.
wherever these guys uh, at our gym, we don't tell these guys. We're there to coach them and to be their friend and to be supportive of whatever they want to do. So if if we have a guy that says, "Hey, I just want to stay and fight for freaking peak fighting or fury fighting my whole career," all right, we'll make you the best peak fighter or fury fighter you can be. Uh, we don't, at least me and I think I can speak for the other coaches. We don't care uh, where you go as long as that's where you want to go. So wherever, like we just talked about a minute ago, every fighter is himself or herself. So whatever she or he wants to do, wherever they want to be, whatever promotion they want to go to, we support it. We have one of our guys right now is in freaking Thailand. He's out there right now in Thailand, and I talk to him almost every day or every other day, uh, and just show him support. Like he's over there. He doesn't have no family or friends out there besides his gym people, but I support him all the way. Do whatever you got to do with her. Our other coach, the same thing. They're like, man, that's cool. He gets to train over there all day. He trains freaking 6, 7 hours a day.
Hmm.
So shout out Dakota Hope.
But I mean, do you think there's too much emphasis on fighters maybe looking at the UFC?
I think that obviously UFC is great. I mean, obviously it's the best promotion out there, right? But I think there's more to it than the UFC, and yeah, I think people need to. I don't know. I'm having mixed feelings about it because I hear a lot of other coaches and stuff that they can't talk for more than 10 minutes, 5 minutes without saying the word UFC or going to UFC or doing or just shit like that. It really just gets me. It kind of turns me off to the idea a little bit. So I don't want to just talk off of that based
Mhm.
off my feelings on that. But definitely there is a lot of other promotions that most of them. Of course, overseas you got ONE FC, which they look like they're coming into the United States soon or now already. Um, but yeah, man, anywhere these fighters want to be, if they're in our gym, we'll help them try to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Japan. I lived on Oahu for a long time, and so I was around these other events that people maybe don't even know exist. But for example, like Japan, I thought, there was one time, and you probably know about this, but there was one time where everyone was trying to get over there.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely everybody.
Yeah, so to see how it is now, it kind of amazes me, because I mean, I know Pride's not there, but they got Ryzen, they're trying to. Japan's kind of opening back up now. They got Floyd Mayweather fighting there in a few weeks, you
Yep.
know. So there are other things people could consider, but it just seems like that's the most people's focus these days is just the UFC.
Maybe because uh, well, UFC is the biggest one in the world, obviously, but it's definitely the biggest one if you're in the US. If you
Yeah,
don't want to travel around the world, then yeah, I get it. I trust me, I get it. UFC's at the top of the mountain. It's the king of the jungle, for sure. It's the king of the jungle. But um, yeah,
yeah, it's interesting, because to hear you say it, like not a lot of coaches would say that. Some most of them their focus is I need to get as many people in the UFC as possible. So it's
yeah,
different.
there is a lot of coaches like that. Also, if that is your goal, I mean, getting to the UFC seems to be like a lot of their goals. But the guys that we would like to get to UFC or any big promotion, it's not just getting them there; it's keeping them there. You know, you can rush these guys and pad their records to be 10-0, and when they get to the UFC, they'll be out in 2 fights, and that's not the goal. You know, so there's certain times where I believe in tunnel vision to meet your goals, but this like tunnel vision that they have to just get to the UFC, like their life depended on it. Yeah, that's different. So, like you said, that's where I see things differently. Definitely you do. If you want to get them there, get them, but make sure they are ready. Get them there and keep them there is would be the goal. The real goal would be keeping them there for the long run if that's where you want to be. But yeah.
Now, if you like, I went to the show in Dallas. I stayed at the hotel where the fighters were staying and stuff. Have you like been around any of that as corner?
Where like out of town stuff or
No,
for
UFC. Where they have their show and their all that stuff.
well when I don't think I've ever been to the UFC as a fan. The only time I've been to the UFC was when I cornered Daniel. So is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to. How the whole, what can I call it? Like the routine where they.
Oh yeah, 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 definitely. When I go corner, yeah, when I go corner aboard Daniel, it's uh it's definitely something different. That's for sure. It's a little yeah, being in the fighter hotel and in all the obligations they have to do. Um, so yeah, it is something a little bit different than in the regional scene. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, do you like it or? Because I mean, I went there. It seems like a lot of the fighters can't go anywhere. They're not, they don't have a vehicle when they're there and stuff. They pretty much just hang around the hotel and show
Yeah,
the
that's true.
fitness they have.
Yeah, there's not much to do, but at the same time, when it's fight week, the only thing you got to worry about is your fighter making weight. So, yeah, once we get to fight week, the fighter and the coaches, they're just working out 2 3 times a day, cutting some weight. That's all they're worried about. So it is true. You are kind of trapped. There's not much. There's not really anywhere you can go. But there's nowhere you want to go, anyways.
Yeah.
You're there to do a job. That's how I see it. I see it as a job, and as a support system, supporting one of my good friends that's about to fight. And the only thing he's worried about is just making weight. So, yeah, I don't. It's the rest of it is just kind of white noise.
But do you get kind of stir crazy because you're in the hotel for so much time?
Yeah, not. You know what? The thing is, we're really close. The guys that do go, our little team. When we go corner, Daniel's a good friend of mine, and so is the other coaches. We're all. If we're not there, cutting weight in the hotel, we're probably out eating somewhere anyways, or we're probably at the gym hanging out, or something. So, so that's what makes it easier. That I don't see them as like I don't see the other coaches like a coworker or something like that. Or I don't see Daniel as a fighter. Like I see him as this is my friend and I'm here to help him and support him get through this freaking weight cut because that's the hard part, you know. So yeah, being locked up in a hotel or something with them, I don't get stir crazy because we're just in there bullshitting the same as we would be bullshitting outside of that hotel or at home in Houston or anywhere. So yeah, it makes it easy. It makes it easy to have a good close team like that.
But that's something that'll probably be harder with having we were talking about fighting overseas. That might be a little more difficult
I'll
than
be honest.
sports system there.
Yeah, definitely. Um, Honestly, man, for me, I hope I don't ever have to go overseas. I don't want to go on a long plane ride. I don't want to. I don't. I'm a homebody, and as far as being in Houston, I don't mind going out of town for a little bit to get the job done with whoever's fighting, and then just come back. I'm not. I don't really like to travel too much. Once I'm at, I guess once I'm at the location where I'm going, it's fun. Uh, like I drove down to Oregon one time and traveling. That was kind of fun. Being in Oregon was fun for a little bit, but the travel, the long flights and the traveling and all that is the shit I don't like. Especially time zone change. I'm not. I don't want to go overseas and I don't want it to be 11 p.m. right now when I think it's 11 a.m.
Yeah, are you one of those where you're having to corner so much that you're out of town most weeks, like from like Wednesday to Sunday, or
No, because we so in the regional scene, you don't really have to go out of town too long. I usually go just the day before the fight, the night before the fight, or sometimes early morning, day of the fight. It just depends. But we are out of town a lot, but it's not for multiple days. It'll be for 2 days. It's like a 2 day thing. So we do go out of town a lot. We're going out of town in about 3 weeks, and yeah, there's been times where we've gone 3 weeks in a row, 3 weekends in a row, and we had three fights in three different states in 1 month. So, but like I said, most of those are just weekend things. They're like 2 day trips. I don't have to be out there for a week at a time because I don't know if I'd like that.
the UFC you do, right? It's pretty much like Wednesday to like Sunday, right?
The UFC, it's Tuesday. I don't know if they've changed it recently, but the last time we went was Tuesday morning. Yeah, Tuesday to Sunday. So yeah, that's a whole week. See, if I had to do that every month, I don't know. I don't know. But doing it in the regional scene is not bad. 2 days at a time, we can do that.
Yeah, because I heard James Cross saying he's basically gone from that period of time almost every week.
Oh, I'm sure he's never home. He's probably home on Mondays, every Monday. Yeah, James Scott, he's got so many freaking fighters. He's probably at home every Monday, and Tuesday to Sunday he's out somewhere.
Yeah, I don't think even now. I mean, I'm not doing anything, but I wouldn't like to travel that much anymore. I did that a lot when I was younger, but now I
Yeah,
would.
I don't think it'd be that fun to be honest.
Now, maybe talk a little bit about like some of the other. You don't have to mention like a bunch of them. Maybe like a couple of other fighters that people might want to look out from your gym.
I would suggest to go on the Four Ounce Fight Club page and look at every single fighter in that gym. But if we want to point some out, we can point out the ones that are fighting. We're in fight week right now for Dania Cruz and BT. Brandon Taylor, we have two from our gym that are fighting this weekend. So I would point them out right now. I'd single them out for that reason. Sunday at I don't know what location, but it's in Houston. For Fear Fighting, you're gonna have Dania Cruz and BT. They're gonna go out there and represent our gym. So whoever's watching or watches this, get with them, get with Four Ounce Fight Club, get some tickets, go to those fights. Fury fights never disappoint. There's always great things going on, and like I said, we got two other fighters going there. October 1st, we have um, some other fighters going. We're still waiting on some confirmation, but we have Dakota Johnson, another great guy. He's an amateur, um, but he's a cool dude. He'll be fighting October 1st for Peak Fighting in San Angelo, Texas. So those are the three names that I can come up with right now. We got another guy waiting. He's waiting on opponents pretty much. His name's we call him Money. He has the coolest name. His Money is actually his middle name. His name's Sterling Money Ingram. Um, but yeah, he should be coming up fighting here short in October, the beginning of October. Like I said, man, if I start naming, we're gonna be here all day because we have so many good fighters. Everybody stays active. But these are the next names you should look out for from our gym that are gonna be fighting soon. Dania Cruz, Brandon Taylor, Dakota Johnson, Money Ingram, starting Money Ingram. Those are the next ones up, and at any moment we can have another five ready to go. So it just depends.
Did you ever watch Makako's fight with Pele?
Man, I'm not good with names. To be honest, I'm not good with names. The last fight I've seen him fight was when he did that tournament a few years ago. I think he fought two or three times that night. Who was that? That was for the. I think it was called still the World Series of Fighting, wasn't it?
No, he fought Pele, and man, I want to say it was a Vale Tudo event in Brazil, long, long way back. And it's like one of the legendary old school fights of the '90s. That everybody knows about. So it's one you got.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. I'll look it up though. I'll look it up. Remember, I've only been, even though it's been almost 9 years, I'm still new. You still consider that new to the game, the MMA game, since everybody's been around so long.
Closing each other down before the fight and stuff. It's kind of an interesting uh, thing between the two of them. But where
I'm
can people?
almost like I'm almost like Bobby Powers here commenting he doesn't remember shit. That's me.
There was this place when I was living on Oahu. There was a Japanese-owned video store, and they had a lot of these fights. Old school that nobody else was renting out. They were doing it, and they were right across from the arena. So all the people that were kind of in the MMA circles on Oahu at that time would hang out there. They'd rent stuff out and whatnot. So that's where I saw a lot of those. So that's why it's in my
Yeah,
head.
I'm definitely gonna look it up. It sounds yeah. I'm pretty sure I haven't seen it, but I'll definitely look it up.
Yeah, I'll have to send it to you. But where can people follow you and stuff and what you're doing?
I'm basically just pretty much my Instagram. That's the only thing I'm really active in. Just my Instagram. I think you tagged it, Frankenstein for MMA. That's pretty much where they can keep up with stuff that I'm doing with in the gym. But obviously, Four Ounce Fight Club, the page, Four Ounce Fight Club is on Instagram as Four Ounce Fight Club. Same, sorry, same thing. And so they're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I think even TikTok now. So if you just go on social media and type in Four Ounce Fight Club, you'll find them at any social media outlet. And mine is just Frankenstein 4 MMA, and I'm basically just here on Instagram. I'm getting too old to be switching back and forth from all these social media outlets. Shout out Bobby Powers. You said I'm a great coach. So are you, Bobby. We're born the same day. Maybe that's what it is. We're both February 21st babies.
Well, man, it was great talking to you. I appreciate you coming on, and we'll have to catch up another time after you've had some fights.
Yeah, for sure. We'll be talking. I'm sure you'll be talking to Donnie after her win this next week. If you haven't heard about it or whoever's watching, and I can tell you, go check out this fight. It's gonna be her best fight yet. That's for sure.
I'll definitely check
Uh,
it out. And it was great talking with you, Frank, and great meeting you. And Thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
No problem. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care, man.
Yes, sir.